Hi everyone, welcome back to the second part of the Snatching of Bookie Bob by Damon Runyon from his series of short stories called On Broadway. If you remember, he was telling us about it being hard times, and so snatching, or I suppose kidnapping in other words, was on the up. But you had to snatch the right person. Let's see what happens next. I am talking to Waldo Winchester, the newspaper scribe, one night, and something about the snatching business comes up. And Waldo Winchester is trying to tell me that it is one of the oldest dodges in the world. Only Waldo calls it kidnapping, which is a title that will be very repulsive to guys who are on the snatch nowadays. Waldo Winchester claims that hundreds of years ago, guys are around snatching parties, male and female, and holding them for ransom. And furthermore, Waldo Winchester says, they even snatch very little children. And Waldo states that it is all a very, very wicked proposition. Well, I can see where Waldo is right about it being wicked to snatch dolls and little children. But of course, no guys who are on the snatch nowadays will ever think of such a thing, because who is going to settle for a doll in these times when you can scarcely even give them away? As for little children, they are apt to be a great nuisance because their mamas are sure to go running round hollering bloody murder about them. And furthermore, little children are very dangerous indeed, what with being apt to break out with measles and mumps and one thing and another any minute and give it to everybody in the neighborhood. Well, anyways, knowing that Harry the horse and Spanish John and little Isidore are now on the snatch, I am by no means pleased to see them come along one Tuesday evening when I am standing on the corner 50th and Broadway, although of course I give them a very jolly hello and say I hope and trust they are feeling nicely. They stand there talking to me a few minutes, and I'm very glad that Johnny Brannigan, the strong-armed cop, does not happen along and see us, because it will give Johnny a very bad impression of me to see me in such company, even though I am not responsible for the company. But naturally I cannot haul off and walk away from this company at once, because Harry the horse and Spanish John and little Isidore may get the idea that I'm playing the chill for them, and will feel hurt. Well, I say to Harry the horse, how are things going, Harry? They're going no good, Harry says. We do not beat a race in 4 days. In fact, we go overboard today. We're washed out. We owe every bookmaker at the track that will trust us. And nowadays we are out trying to raise some scratch to pay off a guy who must pay his bookmaker no matter what. Well, of course, this is very true indeed, because if a guy does not pay his bookmaker, it will lower his business standings quite some. As a bookmaker, is sure to go around putting the blast on him, so I am pleased to hear Harry the horse mention such honorable principles. By the way, Harry says, do you know a guy by the name of Bookie Bob? Now, I do not know Bookie Bob personally, but of course I know who is Bookie Bob, and so does everybody else in this town that ever goes to a racetrack, because Bookie Bob is the biggest bookmaker around and about and has plenty of scratch. Furthermore, it is the opinion of one and all that Bookie Bob will die with his scratch, because he is considered a very close guy with his scratch. In fact, Bookie Bob is considered closer than a dead heat. He is a short, fat guy with a bald head, and his head is always shaking a little from side to side, which some say is a touch of palsy, but which most citizens believe comes of Bookie Bob shaking his head no to guys ask him for credit in betting on the races. He has an ever-loving wife who is very quiet, little old doll with gray hair and a very sad look in her eyes. But nobody can blame her for this when they figure that she lives with Bookie Bob for many years. I often sees Bookie Bob with his ever-loving wife eating in different joints along in the 40s, because they seem to have no home except an hotel, and many a time I hear Bookie Bob giving her a going over about something or other, and generally it is about the price of something she orders to eat. So I judge Bookie Bob is a tough one with his ever-loving wife about scratch, and he is with everybody else. In fact, I hear him bawling her out one night because he has on a new hat, which says, cost her $6, and Bookie Bob wishes to know if she is trying to ruin him with her extravagances. But of course, I'm not criticizing Bookie Bob for squawking about a hat. For all I know, $6 may be too much for a doll to pay for a hat at that. And furthermore, maybe Bookie Bob's got the right idea about keeping down his ever-loving wife's appetite, because I know many a guy in this town who is practically ruined by dolls eating too much on him. Well, I say to Harry the horse, if Bookie Bob is one of the bookmakers you owe, I'm greatly surprised to see that you seem to have both eyes in your head, because I never before hear of Bookie Bob letting anybody owe him without giving him at least one of their eyes for security. In fact, Bookie Bob is such a guy as will not give you the right time if he has 2 watches. No, Harry the horse says, we do not owe Bookie Bob, but he will be owing us before long. We're gonna put the snatch on Bookie Bob. Well, there you go. Harry the horse again and his compatriots out in the snatch for Bookie Bob. Let's see what happens tomorrow. See you soon. Bye-bye. God bless.